So maybe it's not the time of the year where a lot of us are out on the golf course, but here in Arizona, it's a very busy time to be on the course. And even though I haven't been on the course in a few years, I was in a conversation the other day about how golf can teach you so much about the person that you may be doing business with. So let's talk about some of those things, how golf can reveal who you're doing business with and why you should and you shouldn't do business with that person after a round of golf. So admittedly, I haven't been on the course in a few years, and when I was in outside marketing, I've kind of had three different careers, so to speak. I was an outside marketer, small business marketer for a number of years, right out of college at the University of Arizona with my marketing degree. Then I worked for corporate for about a decade, and now I've run my own business for 5 years now. I do social media marketing for small businesses, both local and from coast to coast. So I really haven't had time, even though it was going to be something that's kind of on my agenda for 2021, is to maybe start taking some of my current clients out golfing. But now, let's say I had a foursome. Let's put this in a hypothetical situation. Why am I talking about this in the first place? If I had a hypothetical situation and I did have a foursome, to be honest, I would probably take all clients out, because I truly believe that you need to take care of the people that are helping you currently paying your bills and putting a little money in your pocket versus always trying to look for the new customer. But let's say I did have 2 clients and 1 person who may become a customer in the future. How is a round of golf going to help me decide whether or not I want to do business with that person? Well, a round of golf can really help me decide whether or not I want to do business with that person. And I am kind of blessed. I'm very blessed right now just to decide who I want to work with or who I don't want to take on as a client. But let's say I go through a round of golf with somebody, and on the second hole they hit a ball kind of behind a tree. So in between the green and where they're placed off from the fairway is a big tree, and out of the side of my eye I see this guy kicking the ball out from the tree onto the fairway, or maybe to the right of the tree, so he gets a clearer path to the green. So what does that tell you? That may not be, and it may, to a lot of you it may seem that it's no big deal, you're just golfing, whatever. But golf is it's a sport of tradition. It's a sport of etiquette. It's a gentleman's sport. It's a sport where you are on your honor. You keep your own score. You lay down the rules against yourself. If you accidentally hit the ball while you're lining it up off the tee, and you say, "Oh no, I'm just going to do it again." No, that's if you're with some friends and it's a very, very casual environment, and honestly if you're just out there having several beers and you don't care, then that's one thing. But if in a business setting and you're on the golf course, kicking the ball out from a tree so you got a better look at the green from there, that's a big no-no. It really is. It's something that may not seem like a big deal. But what could that represent if that person is that casual and that nonchalant about this, especially if you're golfing with people that you don't know? If I don't know this person yet, the last thing that I want to see is somebody that's going to, do something that when he thinks no one else is looking, to kind of help himself in a better position. What's character? Character is really how you behave when you think no one is looking. And would he have kicked the ball out from the tree if somebody was watching him? Maybe, maybe not. But if he knew, or if he thought no one was watching him, and he kicked the ball out from the tree for a better shot at the green, then to me that's a huge red flag. Another red flag is when I see, look, if you haven't golfed, there's the beer cart. The beer cart is the beverage cart that has beer, wine, it has soda, it has water, it has Gatorade too. But if you're out golfing, most people like to kind of drink while they're golfing, right? How do you treat that person who's driving around the cart? I've seen a lot of people just have this air of just overconfidence and just entitlement, to be quite blunt and honest about it. And I don't like that. I don't like when there's that little bit of entitlement over somebody who's making ends meet if they have to drive that beverage cart around. Honestly, a lot of people can make a lot of tips driving a beverage cart around a golf course. I've met a lot of people who do pretty well driving that beverage cart around the golf course in tips, and how do you treat that person though? I mean, they're not below you. They're out there making an honest living while you are in a position that you're lucky enough to be on a golf course, right? And a lot of times in that business environment, you're not even paying for that round. Like if I were to take people out golfing right now, for some clients, whatever, I would be paying for that round. So if I took somebody out there that's not a client, and how they treat that person, when they're asking for their beer or their wine or whatever it is, or whatever, their mixed drink, to me that's a big red flag if they don't show some respect to that person. If they're very overly confident, let's just say that word, overly confident in the way they interact with that person. I'm a big believer in how you are in a bar environment or in a restaurant environment, a happy hour, on a golf course, and if you're treating the people who are employed there disrespectfully or without respect, to me that's a huge red flag on somebody I'm not going to want to do business with. Golf is a game of patience. It's absolutely a game of patience. And let's say somebody has a good front nine, the first 9 of the 18 holes, and getting down into the back end of the back 9, they're wearing down a little bit. It was a hot day, they're wearing down, and they start losing their temper. And I've seen people literally throw golf clubs into pools into a little pond of water. I've seen people break their clubs. I've seen people curse and swear and just throw their golf bag. And yeah, I've seen some really bad things on a golf course when I used to golf, on a regular basis with clients and people that I was supposed to wine and dine and schmooze out there. But that patience or lack of patience when things aren't going your way, when you wear down a little bit on the course, or when you just hit a bad shot that messes up your round, that lack of patience is a huge red flag. That temper is a huge red flag. What if something were to go wrong? We all make mistakes. I'm not perfect in what I do every day. I try to be perfect, but what if I have a little bit of a glitch or a little bit of a hiccup? How is that person going to react if I have that hiccup, even if after 2 or 3 years of a perfect record with them? I don't want to work with that person. I don't want to deal with that person. Now, I get it. A lot of us are in a position where we need to take on all the clients and customers that we are going to take on. So maybe you do take on that person who has kicked, the ball out from the tree, or doesn't show respect to the people who are working on the course, or doesn't have the patience. But at least that gives you a blueprint on how you're going to deal with this person and how you're going to establish that rapport. A golf course, a round of golf can teach you a lot of things about somebody. And if they cheat, if they, tell you, if they put down a 5 on the scorecard when it really should have been a 6 or a 7, if they don't treat others with respect, if they don't have patience, there's so many. I'm talking about all the negative things, but maybe somebody is very honest. Maybe, they're happy with the 96 that they shot out there. Maybe they're, they treat everybody out that works there very politely. Then yeah, that's the person that you want to deal with. That's a person that you want as a great client. But I am accentuating the negative, but those red flags on the golf course, that could really, again, like I said, just give you like a manual on how this person is going to do business with you. And it is a clear parameter. It's not as clear as day. A round of golf could give you so much information on that person. Not to mention, we haven't even talked about this yet. Just the conversation that you have. What do they talk about? Are they married, but are they talking about somebody that maybe they shouldn't be talking about? There's so many things that, when you're in that situation and out on the links and you're kind of out in the middle of another world out there at times when you're on this beautiful course. A lot of people let their guard down. A lot of people really talk about things that, you know, show their values, or maybe they show that they don't have too many values or standards. Highly recommend that if you don't golf, or if you haven't, you know, done so in a while, test this theory out. Many of you who have golf on a regular basis know this, but it's a really way to give you a transparent insight on the person that you're thinking about doing business with. So what do you think? What do you think about this video? What do you think of some of my comments and suggestions and some of the red flags I talked about taking a potential client out on the golf course? Put your ideas and comments down below, and if there's something else that maybe you thought I missed or something I glossed over too much, ask me some questions. You know, you could ask those questions below, or you can email me. I'll put my email address in the description of the video. And please don't forget to subscribe, and remember, if you want to do what you want to do, then you got to do what you got to do.